Hi, my name is Jessica Cordero, and I will be talking about women's role in water, but specifically in Egypt. Women have always had unequal footing overall in history, and in water and water rights, this is no different. In all parts of the world where water is noticeably not reliable, women are in charge of the gathering and collecting of water for their families. As a result, many of these women end up with little to no time for education. Along with this loss of education, these women also face risks. Some of these risks include possible assault and infections. If a woman is seen with much water, robbers might be tempted to take it for themselves, especially if they know how strenuous the trek can be for them to obtain such water. As for infections, the water they collect is not always 100% clean. Since these women have to cross whatever is in their way, this leaves the containers to become dirty. In Egypt's Nile Delta, conflicts are on the rise because of the dwindling freshwater resources. For Egyptian women, the lack of these resources has caused them to travel farther than necessary to be able to get enough water for their families. Class, gender, and culture are big aspects that affect how women are perceived when handling water. First, gender must be defined as it plays a big role in my case study. Gender is not only what someone identifies as, but the different positions of women and men are influenced by historical, religious, economic, and cultural realities. In Egypt, this is no different. Water scarcity is defined as having an insufficient amount of water to be able to do everything in a day. For example, the average American household uses 80 to 100 gallons of water in a day, but the average African household does not. They are only able to have an average amount of 5 gallons of water per day. This was obtained from the Institute of Africa. With the rising costs of water, many Egyptians have preferred to continue the use of the Nile River to supply their water needs. The Nile River supplies about 93% of renewable water to Egyptians. Although some municipalities filter water from the Nile, not all of Egypt can afford to buy such water. This causes them to continue the use of unfiltered, non-potable water. Women in Egypt often give up education in order to fetch water for their families. Many travel a lot of miles to get water, which takes time away from other things they could be doing, such as getting an education. In Egypt, the girls start at a very young age to gather water for their families. These girls cannot risk letting their duties go unfinished because that would mean their family would go dry for the week. Even though these women are tasked with the important job of collecting water, men still treat them unfairly. Men are the ones who own most of the land. Although there are quotas set to ensure women are given land, most of these women give up their ownership to a male in the family because they are simply not treated the same. Going back to education, these girls are not able to gain the same knowledge that their male counterparts can, which causes many women to lack basic skills that could help them later in life. Egyptian women suffer because of their lack of knowledge, which feeds into the gender roles set in place in Egypt. Women are seen as an addition to households, which produce gender norms and expectations. Since women are not usually seen as individuals, they are more likely to find themselves reverting back into a role to please their husbands. Gender roles are heavily enforced in these situations and are used as tools to revamp male power over females. Women are still expected to come home and complete their other duties on top of collecting water. However, the water collected is not always healthy. One disease that is common in Egypt is Schistosoma Mansoni. This disease causes severe diarrhea and can harm these women. If these women are not able to get water, the man in the family often does not help anyway. S. Mansoni harms women the most because they are the ones that are regularly involved in water. Especially when they are cleaning their dishes or doing the laundry, they are submerged in water. Illegal waste dumping also affected women the most because the canals reduced the time they took to get water at the cost of higher infection risks. These women are expected to meet a quota of gallons for their family, and it cannot be reached when these women are sick. This leads to the family having to send their younger daughters to fetch water, which often leaves them at risk of being kidnapped. Women's role in water. Women also face inequality in the water sector in rural areas. This is because of how societies are run, with men pushing the idea that female leadership positions do not benefit the government. Gender norms are reinforced in rural areas since the people follow a more patriarchal approach to living. Women in Egypt have also voiced their concerns about water quality. Since costs have increased, they have admitted to preferring the canal water, even though it is not regulated nor is it clean. The canal offers these women a better chance of completing their daily routines, with the downside of infections and diseases. The disproportionate marginalization makes women less likely to challenge laws or lack thereof that involve water. However, the United Nations enacted goals to help women gain traction for high positions in governing to help with water and its management. With this, there has been an increase in women in leadership positions in Egypt. Women have been able to give their views to improve the way that water is treated in Egypt. Women now have the opportunity to join leadership positions to help water management, but they are still not given all the information that their male counterparts are given. This reduces their ability to fully engage in discussions such as costs and why fees are collected from water plants. Women also do not have the same opportunities to own land or have jobs as men, so they are not often fighting for their spot in a leadership position. This results in many women not even knowing they can obtain positions in water leadership. Overall, women lack the resources and knowledge that men have in Egypt and its water management. Since women are the ones that collect the water, they also have significantly less education than men. Another thing that Egyptian women suffer from is their lack of presence in government. This affects their daily lives and the way they obtain water. Although these women are now able to obtain leadership roles, they often face backlash from males who believe they are inferior and will not be beneficial to government roles in water.